Hey, what's up? Peace and love, guys. Um, Today I'm going to try a different approach as far as the way I want to present my uh, presentation and whatnot in the video. I'm not going to really like show my face because I really think the important part really isn't my face, is um, the visual representation. No, it's not the best, but like I said, I'm not important. What's being taught is important. So I'm going to simply try to make the videos more so like this, so you can really see what's going on. Um, However, I will say possibly in the future, once I get more equipment and whatnot, then I can maybe do a little bit more and just maybe present things in a more professional manner. But right now, I don't really know a lot about that stuff, so just bear with me. So what I'm going to also be doing is trying to follow the same type of well, kind of pick up from where I left off basically. In the last video, this is kind of where I left as far as the image that I sketched up here for you. But of course, I made it a little bigger, and then I kind of took out some of the shading that I did. But you can clearly see that I'm going to pick up from the same concept. So the last video that I had was called the life force energy, well, the awakening in the life force energy. And I talked about how basically the goal is to create a pathway. That's what the energy initially starts. And I didn't talk about it in my last video, but what I did later is went back and talked about, I made like a little short video and talked about some of the videos that I've done in my earlier um, experience as far as my Kundalini awakening. It was a lot of talk of just phenomenon and stuff, just like it was just. If you go back and look at the videos, they were like, "What in the world is going on with this girl?" And what I did explain is that a lot of that phenomenon was simply the energy trying to create that pathway. Um, and I didn't understand that at first. However, as time went on, I started to understand. So anyway, that's what that video and then that little short video I made kind of left off. And this is where we are now. This video is going to be called Creating the Pathway and the Junk That's Inside of You, basically. Um, Now, what is this pathway? This pathway is simply what we would call, and I've heard them called this before, like uh, the halls of a mente. Basically, they are where your chakras are that are inside of you, their location, and basically, let's just for this sketch, we'll say that um, you know, life force energy has now created that pathway, right? What is this pathway for? This pathway now is for filtering. Filtering out what? All of these things that lie on the outside. Now, what I was saying is that you and your physical body, you're more than that. You're bigger than what you think you are, because you have other light bodies, or um, your astral body is more layers to you than what you can see. Physically you can see this, but it's actually more to you. But once spirit has a pathway, and a pathway that's um, big enough to start filtering you out, one of the first things I noticed, and what I have represented here is just basically like a pyramid type structure. But I mean, you can just think of that because just the way that the spirit feels when it's filtering you out, you feel that, you know, when it's filtering you, when it's up here, the areas that it's working on tend to be a little thinner, and then when you get down towards the lower levels of your body, it kind of spans out, and it seems that you're bigger there. So in my imagination, that's what I kind of came up with. Okay, maybe that's what the pyramid represents. It represents uh, your house, how your house, maybe necessarily not in that perfect structure, but that's just better than basically. But you'll see, I'll probably change up here. It won't be so triangular, clearly. But so the structure here, I kind of went on a rant there. Um, I would like to say that this structure here is initially um, when the pathway was out and I started to feel more phenomenon, I started to feel more things going on the outside of me, more things started to go on the outside, and it felt as if I started to be surrounded by energy. Like I just saw energy everywhere, but it was like my energy, and it was just everywhere I went, I just was encompassed, and it was just me. It was my energy. But what I would like to, or what I think, and then like I said, this is all based on my expression, is what they call like the Merkaba of some sort, like a protective magnetic field that is created once you reach a certain level of consciousness. I believe that's basically what was going on. Like I became just surrounded by like an electromagnetic field, and it was like everywhere. Okay. So that's where I get the whole fact that you're kind of um, enclosed in something, like you're housed in something, and that's basically what that energy feels like. It just kind of starts to just house you, and it just closes you up basically. And I'll get into it later, but I know I'm housed just by the way the energy is left out. Well, not the energy, but the junk that's within is kind of pulled out of me. It's not, but we'll get to that. So from there, you have this protective um, enclosure that you end up being in, and then from there, I think the protective closure is to basically so you don't get any worse. Spirit starts working, and what's the point if everything they do is just gonna just keep coming back? But when you reach that level of consciousness, spirit is gonna protect you, and then they're gonna start working on you. What they're going to be working on. They're going to be working on getting all the junk out. What is this junk? I left this part blank because I want to kind of give you guys an idea of the type of stuff that I felt being pulled out of me. Okay, so first of all, to give you like the complete mechanics of it all, like I said, you're some of this material, some of this junk, what I call junk, may be in specific, you know, you know. Layers of your astral body. So it's hard to pinpoint what particular layer that the junk resides in, but it is evident during my filtering that stuff had to come out a certain way, and even at times. And it's kind of weird. Like it's very ritualistic. I have seen like stuff will be removed, so another layer could get this stuff out. This stuff that uh, was removed would be put back in, and it'll be removed at another time. So it's like, well, why if you removed it the first time, why you just ain't just leave it out? But who am I to question? Anyway, back more on the junk that we have inside. First of all, we have junk like this. And I'm just going to just like draw stuff as far as how it may appear. As far as like what body, like I said, I don't know. But you have just like balls of stuff, right? Just blobs of just things that just almost like little bubbles that are just there blocking you up, right? This is on top, right? This is after a pathway is clear. Think about um, I don't know what's a great best terminology, but just think about that. This is just being like a layered cake, and right now we're just talking about just those outside layers, and we haven't gotten to the ice cream yet. Or I don't know if that made any sense, but we're still on the outside. I will later talk about once we start to peel down and really get to uh, that last layer of stuff. Um, that's a whole nother story. But you got this stuff on you, and it looks like blobs. And then you also have um, things that, you know, that have limbs that are almost kind of reptilian like, that just kind of dwell within you. Um, just, and it's a lot of these things. And a lot of people call them like energy vampires, but they just dwell in you. And then also you just have other feathers that are really small that have become so like build up on one another that they just become just like bricky like, and that's what most of this was. So it's really hard and like just stuck, and it takes a lot of, it's tools involved now. It takes a lot of grinding to get stuff like uh, that out, but it's just so much stuff just all within you. And this is just like I said, on a layered all on you. Just caked up everywhere. Um just caked everywhere. All right. So what I want to talk about on my next video is basically what is some of the mechanics that spirit use to start getting some of this stuff out. But you got a lot going on. Just some other things. We have some of this going on. This going on. We have things, especially on our mental, that are on the outs. It's coming in all kind of wired a little bit too. They're kind of like little thin little wires that kind of run through you a little bit. Because I've seen stuff that is being worked on, and it could be worked on up here, and once you see it start being grinded up, I'll feel something released from down here. So it's like stuff just has limbs that just affect your mental, your physical, on so many levels that it's just mind-boggling. But yeah, that's where we'll stop, because I didn't want this video to get too long, and then we'll pick it up from the next time from here. All right, thank you. Either I know what I'm talking about, or I have freaking awesome imagination. Thank you for tuning in.